Hello friends, in this video we will discuss about the non-access modifiers in Java. The non-access modifiers give some more functionalities or some more properties other than accessing. These are static, final, abstract, synchronized mainly. Static modifier is used to create class methods and class variables. That is the method or the data variable which is declared as static can be accessed without creating the object of the class. Static variables or static methods can exist independently. That means sorry, when a class has static variable, the variable has only one copy. That is, the variable is associated with the class. That is, we can also say that the class, if we create an object of the class, we cannot access the static variable using that object. We have to access the static variable only using the class. When we will create or when we will declare a static variable, the variable has only one copy. And we know that when we create an object, and we can create multiple objects of a class, that is, we can create multiple copies of a class, but in static variable has only one copy. That means that's why a static variable is also known as class variable, because the static variable has only one copy with the class. The static modifier can also be applied for class also. A method can be static, a variable can be static, and also a class can be static. In case of inner nested classes, the inner classes can be static. Next, for final modifier, final modifier can also be applied for class, method, and variables also. Now, when a variable is final, then that means that it is constant. It is treated as a constant, and it can be initialized only once. No final variable can be reinitialized. When a method is final, it cannot be overridden. The concept of overriding will be discussed in subsequent video. And when a class is final, it cannot have any subclass. Now, the abstract modifier is used to create abstract class and interfaces. It will be discussed in later videos. And synchronized, it is used for synchronizing multiple threads. It will be discussed in module 2 video. Also, there are other non-access modifiers like volatile modifier, transient modifier, so on. First, I'll show a demonstration on static keyword. So, save it. Say static static.java. Because we are using capital S static is not a keyword, so no problem. Write a class, say A, write a static method, static void show, string argument, str is the name of the argument, say. We have to print str, system.out.println str. Now I will write the main method, main class first. The main class name will be static, S capital, static. Write the main method now, public static void main, string argument. So now I want to that is this show method is inside class A. Now if I call this show method and say I am passing say test, okay, will it compile fine? Will it execute or will it print test? Obviously it will do, because we can call this show method. We can call this show method because this show method is static, so we don't need to create object of A. We can call this. But one thing you have to remember, the access modifier of class. The access modifier of the class is default. Default means the method inside it, and also this show method is also default. This show method can be, so show method is, since it is default, it can be accessed outside the class but in the same package. These two classes are in the same package or same repository. So this default show method can be accessed here, and also it can be accessed without creating object because it is static. But if we simply write show, it will show compilation error because it will not find the show symbol. We can compile it, Java C, okay. Now you can see that it is showing that cannot find the symbol, because this show method, compiler cannot understand where, in which class the show method belongs to. So you have to write the class name dot the method name. And similarly for variables, static variables also, class name dot variable name, class name dot method name, or class name dot variable name. Just like object dot we use for other instance variables. So there are actually three types of variables. One is local variables. Local variables are those variables which are declared inside a method. Those are local variables. Instance variables, that means these are declared globally. These are declared outside the method. So any method inside the class can use. These are instance variables. And class variables or static variables are this, that is which is declared as static and which is which has only one copy associated with the class. We can make we can create object of A, obviously, because this class is not static. We can create 100 objects of this class, but even if we create objects, but we this method, we cannot access this method with by using those objects. There is only one copy of this method is there. If we compile it, you can see now compilation is fine. Next, write static enter test. So it is printing test because the string passed here is test, and it will print. That means we are passing test to the str, this variable, and we will print str. It will so the output will be test only, this one. So a final keyword, example of final keyword, write it as final, no problem, because final keyword is small. Final, static, abstract, all these keywords starts with small letter. So we can if we write capital F, it is actually separate. It's not a keyword. So just write class final. So write a final variable, final, say static variable, integer variable, x equal to 100. Now write the main method public static void main string argument a array. Now if we want to print system dot out dot println x, so it will print 100, because you can see that since it is x, and it is static, we don't need to create object. But do we have to write it as final.x? We don't need to write it as final.x, because compiler can understand, because x is inside final class. So compiler will understand it is the variable used or declared in final class. So we don't need to write final.x. If we we want to access it outside the class, we have to give the name of the class. Now let's compile it. Java C final.java. Here you can see no problem here. Java space final. You see 100 is printed here. 100 is printed. Now if you write final.x, compile it, again no error. So it is optional. You may write find class name.x in case of static method or static variable. You may write class name.x, but it is only required, mandatory, when you are using it outside the class. If it is inside the class, you may write final.x, or also you may write simply x, no problem. But if you don't write static, you need to create object of class final. Then you can use obj, say the object name of final is obj.x. If it is not, x is not static. Okay, so now say I want to again initialize it as 101, or say I want to increment it. Can we do it? Let's check. Since final is constant, so final variable is constant, so it cannot be, if the variable is final it cannot be reinitialized. And if a method is final, it cannot be overridden. If a class is final, then the class cannot have any child class. In the next video, we will discuss about encapsulation. The first object oriented property we will discuss in the next video. Thank you for watching this video.